All right, so today we are diving deep into Artzland Studio and this really amazing exhibition they've got going on called the Tunnel of Wonders.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So Artzland Studio, if you're not familiar, it's not your typical art studio.
Right.
And we're going to talk all about that, but just to give you a little bit of background, they really focus on, creativity over replication, expression over technique.
Yeah, and you can really see that in the pieces in this exhibition.
Absolutely. And some of the highlights, we're talking umbrellas making it rain, food with stories, ants enjoying a watermelon picnic.
The kids have really let their imaginations run wild.
Oh, for sure.
And what's really great is that they've partnered with BookXcess to make this about giving back to the community. It's really inspiring to see how they're empowering these young artists to use their creativity to make a difference.
And speaking of the exhibition itself, it's not just a typical art display. They've got all these themed areas.
Oh yeah, it's really interactive.
You've got the art area where you can just, get lost in all the amazing artwork.
And then there's the comic area where you can explore these fantastic hand-drawn stories.
Oh, cool. And I heard they have a Dino Costume Photo area.
They do. Who doesn't love a chance to roar like a T-Rex?
Not me. Sign me up for that.
Great.
But, one of the things that really caught my eye was the children's gold nugget section.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that.
I just thought it was so cool how they curated all these little unique, super creative elements from each child's work.
Yeah, it's a great way to celebrate that individual expression.
Yeah, really shining a spotlight on each kid's own unique style.
And of course, there's the comment area where visitors can leave messages of encouragement.
Oh, that's nice for the children who will be receiving the books.
Yeah, it's a great way to connect the community and turn the art into a tangible act of kindness.
It really shows how Artzland is not just about fostering creativity.
Right.
It's also about compassion and social responsibility.
Absolutely, it's all connected.
So, we've talked a bit about what makes Artzland unique, but I want to delve deeper into that.
Sure.
Can you tell us more about their approach to teaching art?
Well, they have this three-pronged approach that really sets them apart. Originality over replication, expression over perfection, and empowering creativity.
I love those. Those are great.
Yeah, they really are the pillars of their philosophy.
So how do they actually put those principles into practice?
Well, for starters, they encourage the kids to explore a ton of different materials and techniques.
Oh.
You won't find any, cookie cutter projects here.
Oh, good.
It's all about giving them the freedom to experiment and discover their own unique style.
So it's not about learning to paint within the lines.
No, not at all.
It's about discovering the lines within themselves.
Exactly, and they don't emphasize technical perfection at all.
Oh, interesting.
They're much more focused on encouraging the children to express their emotions and ideas freely, without fear of judgment.
It sounds like they're really creating a safe and nurturing space for kids to just be themselves.
They are.
Let those imaginations just run wild.
Exactly, that's the whole idea.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And that connection to self-expression is really beautifully illustrated in this exhibition.
Yeah.
Where you can see how the art becomes a bridge between these young artists and the children who will receive the books.
It's a powerful reminder that art can be a force for good.
Absolutely.
And that even the youngest among us can make a real difference.
Yeah, really inspiring stuff.
And it's really, I think, more about the journey than the destination with this.
Oh, interesting.
They encourage the kids to really experiment and not be afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah, it's all part of the process, right?
Exactly. Every smudge and stray line is like a little opportunity to learn and grow.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a really refreshing perspective.
So it's not about, just replicating something perfectly.
Right.
It's about that whole journey of creating something new.
Exactly, and developing those problem-solving skills, and building resilience.
Absolutely.
And it's just cultivating that sense of wonder and curiosity, which is so important.
For sure, and you can really see that come through in the exhibition itself.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned the Dino Costume Photo area.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to have a little fun.
Not at all. Learning should be enjoyable, especially for kids.
Exactly.
And, those interactive elements, they make it more engaging for the visitors,
Yeah.
but they also give the kids a chance to learn through play.
And by partnering with BookXcess, they're kind of extending that playfulness and that learning to children who might not have access to it otherwise.
Yeah.
I think it's so amazing.
And, books are so powerful.
Absolutely.
They can transport you to different worlds, spark your imagination.
Yeah, especially during tough times.
Exactly. It's like a little escape.
So it's a beautiful thing that Artzland and BookXcess are doing, giving these kids that gift.
It really is the gift of imagination and the joy of reading.
Yeah, and it really shows the power of art to inspire hope, and make a real difference in people's lives.
Absolutely. It makes you think about, how we can use our own creativity to give back.
Exactly.
To make the world a better place.
So for our listeners who are maybe feeling inspired and want to get involved,
Yeah.
what are some ways they can support this initiative?
Well, first of all, going to the exhibition is a great way to start.
Makes sense.
You'll get to see all the amazing art.
Yeah.
But you'll also be contributing to those book donations.
Oh, that's great. And I know you mentioned the comment area earlier.
Yeah.
Where people can leave messages.
It's a small gesture, but it can really mean a lot to those kids.
Absolutely. And what about folks who want to explore Artzland's approach a little deeper?
Oh, yeah. Well, they can actually pick up a timetable for their classes at the exhibition.
Oh.
So, maybe it'll spark some inspiration for nurturing creativity in their own lives.
Or for their kids, right.
Exactly. And they offer classes for all different ages and skill levels, so there's something for everyone.
I think this deep dive has really opened my eyes to the power of art.
Me too.
It's not just about self-expression.
Right.
It's also about positive change and community building.
Absolutely. And Artzland Studio is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, really inspiring.
Definitely.
And, as we start to wrap up here, I'm wondering, how can we take these ideas from Artzland and apply them to our own lives?
Yeah.
Even if we don't think of ourselves as artists, quote unquote.
That's a really great point. I think those core principles, the originality, expression, empowerment, those can be applied to anything, really.
So it's not about picking up a paintbrush or anything like that.
Right. It's more of a mindset shift.
I see.
It's like, what if we approached problems at work or even just communicating with our families with that same openness to new ideas? Like that willingness to express ourselves without worrying about being right or wrong.
I love that. So it's about taking that creative spark from Artzland and just letting it ignite possibilities in our daily life.
Exactly. And remember that whole thing about process over perfection.
Yeah.
Imagine if we focused less on the end result and more on the journey, the learning and growing along the way.
That's such a good point. It's embracing the messiness, the stumbles, seeing them as opportunities instead of setbacks.
Exactly. And just like Artzland empowers those kids through art, we can empower ourselves and the people around us to just embrace our own unique voices.
It's really all about perspective, isn't it?
It really is.
Well, to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has sparked some inspiration for you, not just to appreciate the amazing work of Artzland and BookXcess, but also to, tap into your own creativity, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah, remember, creativity is a journey, not a destination.
Love that.
Embrace the process and never be afraid to let your voice shine through.
And hey, maybe you'll even be inspired to create some art that helps others.
Like the kids at Artzland.
Exactly. All right. That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.